Hey guys, Mark here, and thanks for joining me in another video. And wherever you are in the world, whatever you're up to with all this dreadful COVID stuff going on, I hope that you're well, that your family and loved ones are doing okay, and also, hope it's not affecting you too much economically if you're working or your business or whatever. So I hope that you're doing okay in these strange times. Now, I haven't done a video for a while because, to be honest with you, I've been busy trying to sort life out since I moved back to the UK, and I've been working and just been busy doing that. There's a few things that I can sort of update you on and tell you what I've been up to, but to be honest with you, I'm a bit wary about doing that because I'm probably not that interesting. I've tried to keep the channel sort of related to the car, obviously, because that's what it's about and that's how it started. A few of you have messaged me saying, oh, what have you been up to? Haven't seen a new video for a while. And I know that, having these videos has sort of helped people look at stuff on their cars or even make decisions about buying them. So I just want to say, I really appreciate that. If you are a subscriber and you find these interesting, then, I really do appreciate it. Thanks very much. Now, I'm taking this car off the road. I made a decision because there's lots of factors. For example, it's still Spanish registered. I need to get it UK registered. I didn't anticipate, and if you think this is a weird camera angle, it's only because I left my phone holder thing in another vehicle, so I'll try and keep it steady. I left all my stuff in Spain, and when I came back, no one obviously knew that there was going to be a lockdown. So I tried to sort of think about the best way to get all my stuff back here, but it's just not effective at the moment. But my original UK headlights are in a friend's garage in Spain, so obviously that's not going to help because I need to get the car re-imported to the UK, get it back on British plates. But also one of the shocks went, and I was driving along and I heard this massive bang. I think I hit a pothole and the suspension locked up solid, and the car felt really strange to drive, so I had that checked out. And I just thought it was I obviously thought it was something to do with the ABC system, but I thought it was maybe an accumulator or valve block, because if you've seen any of my previous videos recently where I talked about when the car went through its Spanish MOT, there was a few knocks and clonks, and I thought that it was one of those things that I just mentioned, maybe banging or not fitted properly on the bottom, because I'd had a garage in Spain looking after the car for me, and bless them, they did their best, but they weren't specialists in the car. And one of the things that really sort of brought out, one of the highlights that really made obvious to me, was that you need to find someone who understands these cars, or is at least willing to kind of do the work properly, and not just your average mechanic, because these cars just they have so much on them. You really have to understand them to be able to get them worked on properly, or the mechanics have to understand them, obviously. So what I've done, I had originally planned to buy a four-door, an S-Class, for other reasons, and I didn't want to get rid of the CL, which I'm not going to do, but I have bought an S500. There's quite a good deal on one of those, so I've bought that, and I'm going to take the CL off the road, and I'll explain to you what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to go over to sort of another frame now, and I'll show you some of the bits that need doing. And if you are interested in other stuff that I'm doing, I'd love to sort of share that with you, because I'm driving a Mercedes truck, 44-ton Arctic. So if any of you have wondered what it's actually like being on the road all day, and what the difference is, between driving a car and a truck and a van and all that kind of stuff, if you're interested in that, I'm happy to show you around, the cab and my truck, and maybe even a working day if you like, if you're interested in that. And I'll show you the S500, and I don't really want to sort of dilute the channel down into becoming like an everyday vlog, because I'm sure I'm not that interesting. But I'm happy to sort of keep this open in terms of that, what I'm doing in terms of the vehicles, like with the S500, and show you around that car. And it's driving the two back to back, there's some really interesting differences actually, and it's reminded me just what a great car the CL is. So anyway, I'll go through a few bits. So as you can see, we've got the coolant visit workshop sign on. Now what's happened is, for the last 4 years I've had this radiator fan problem, which I'll show you in a second. But as you can see, the actual temperature itself is pretty stable. The car's kind of been running now for about 10 minutes. and I know that it's not overheating, but obviously it would if I left it. But I'll show you what that fan issue is, and I'll show you what's going on with the shock. Yeah, so you can see this is the back of the radiator fan, and it's now just completely sort of seized up. So that took about 4 years to get this bad. So that needs changing. So this is the back driver's side shock, and if you can see there, the gator has split, and that had been like that for quite some time actually. I've got to be honest, I'd put some tape over it because it's a very tricky thing just to replace in isolation. You've got to take all that out just to put that over the whole shock mounting. But all of that area there is dry enough, but what's happened inside, you can probably see there's fluid there, and it's pretty hard to sort of get this, but anyway, what's happened, the shock is making a terrible clonking sound, so obviously there's something happening inside there. I had it checked out and it basically said this shock's gone. So you'll have to excuse the dodgy camera angle, but I'm sure you've only come to expect low quality output from me. I'm not exactly Harry Metcalf or Shmee or someone, if you watch any of those channels. But anyway, I found a garage near me in the Torquay area where I am now. It's a garage in Paynton, which are Mercedes specialists, and they've already had a look at the S-Class, which I recently got, because there was something on there needed checking on the engine light. And they seem to understand the CL, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all of the rear suspension rebuilt and redone, and also have all the bushes and stuff like that done throughout the suspension, because I want to get the car, you know, I kind of think it deserves to have all those bits done, because you know, she's 20 years old, as I've mentioned in other videos. You know, chassis parts and stuff like that are going to wear out. You've got to expect it. It's part of the running cost of having an older car. So you know, I'm going to get those done. I'm going to check out all of like the valve blocks and the accumulators. I need to get that what's it called, the vibration dampener sorted out, because that's what makes the sort of the humming noise in the car, I found out through a bit of research. So there's quite a bit of work to be done. I don't anticipate on spending less than a couple of grand on parts, to be honest, maybe even a bit more, and it might cost 3 or 4 grand. But I think the car warrants it, and like I just said, you know, driving back to back between this and the S500, it actually is highlighted what an amazing car this CL is. Even more so, sort of, you know, I always knew it was a great car, but it's just reminded me of, you know, despite all the things that potentially could go wrong and all the running things, it is just quite an amazing car. So anyway, I'll show you a little bit of the new S-Class before I go, and I'll talk about a few other bits. But I don't really have an awful lot to tell you at the moment, apart from I should be taking this off the road, and also I'm going to give it a good clean up now. I'm at my little girl's granddad's house at the moment, and I'm going to give it a thorough clean up inside, so that as it gets parked up and the winter gets cold, it doesn't all go mouldy and furry inside. If there's anything that you want to ask me about the car or about running cars in general, you know, I've got a lot of motor trade experience over the years, buying and selling cars and running cars, and all different types of cars, all different sort of, like, you know, good brands. I've driven most stuff, and I had a valeting business. So if anything that you want to ask me about the cars in particular, you know, fire away. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thank you for all the comments and stuff that you do give me. All right, I'll see you in a minute, I guess. I'm not quite sure how, as always, how I'm going to edit this, but I'll see what happens.